Hey everyone, it's Green Eyed Guide. One of my most popular videos on my YouTube channel is called Coffee versus Energy Drinks, which is better for studying. In that video, I went over the different ingredients in coffee and energy drinks and talked about how they might make one better than the other, how they might make energy drinks or coffee better for cognitive focus that you need for studying. But instead of replicating all of that content, today I'm just going to go through some of the reasons why I choose coffee over energy drinks. To give you a little bit of background, I love energy drinks. I'm usually an energy drink fan, but sometimes I prefer coffee over energy drinks. And today, inspired by my warm cup of donut shop coffee from the fire department coffee company, I wanted to share that list of reasons with you. Ready? Let's go. Welcome to the Caffeine at Midnight podcast. Is getting good sleep a struggle? Is your cup of coffee the only thing that gets you out of bed? Do you have questions about energy drinks? If so, this podcast is for you. Where you get your caffeine, how much, how fast, how often. These tiny details make a big difference in your physical and emotional exhaustion. I'm caffeine scientist Green Eyed Guide, and I'm here to guide you through it. Whether it's your work, your kids, or your midterms stealing your sleep, I can help you beat burnout with caffeine science. After this quick message from my sponsor, we'll dive right in. This episode is sponsored by Anchor. If you're considering starting your own podcast, I highly recommend the Anchor app. It distributes your podcast for you to Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, and so many more. Plus, you can record and edit right from your phone. It's perfect for busy moms like me. And you can make money from your podcast even if only your mom and your grandma listen to it. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. So here it is. Here's my personal list for why I choose coffee over an energy drink. Number one, coffee houses provide more than just coffee. For centuries, they've provided an atmosphere for studying and for socializing. Granted, in the times of COVID, this has changed, but still, there's something about going to a coffee house or something about sharing a cup of coffee. It's more than just the coffee, it's the social aspect. And sometimes that social aspect can help me de-stress. It can help me focus. It can lift my mood, which caffeine does too. But again, it's more than just the caffeine. It's the connection. Number two, hot coffee can't be chugged. It can't be consumed too fast because it might burn your throat. Similarly, iced coffee can't be consumed too fast because it can create brain freeze. So there's nothing but a warning label and common sense preventing someone from consuming multiple energy shots or multiple energy drinks in less than an hour. Coffee wins because it has this inherent speed control to prevent you from chugging the shots or the energy drinks. In other words, the nature of coffee is to sip it slowly, to enjoy it, to savor it. And that's what we should be doing with all of our caffeine, but really that's built into the coffee culture. So that's points for coffee there. Third, coffee has been around for centuries longer than energy drinks. So there's considerably more studies on the safety and the health benefits of coffee over energy drinks. This is a struggle I encounter all the time when I'm researching caffeine and energy drinks and their effect on human health. Most of the time, when people are talking about benefits of caffeine, you have to read that research paper very carefully to see if they distinguished between coffee or caffeine. Unfortunately, most of the research we have on the benefits of caffeine comes from looking at people that had cups of coffee and then their overall health outcomes. We're getting a little bit better about this. I mean, energy drinks have been around since like 1997. So thankfully, there's more research around energy drinks these days. And I'd like to pat myself on the back for leading that, or at least participating in that charge. But still, I feel like if you're very concerned about how caffeine or energy drinks might affect your health, coffee is the safer option just because it's got this historical background of being around for centuries. In other words, if I had to choose between a random cup of coffee from this random grocery store or gas station I've never been in over this random energy drink from a company I've never heard of, I'd probably trust the coffee more. It's a lot harder to poison yourself with coffee than it is with energy drinks. With energy drinks, you have to be very careful that you know the brand and you know the ingredients because I feel like there's more loopholes for people that don't know what they're doing to maybe give you things that aren't the best for you. So, again, coffee's kind of a safer option. It's harder to get poisoned by coffee, in my opinion. And I think the most important reason, or at least the most prominent reason why I pick coffee over energy drinks, is that coffee's warm. There's something comforting about holding a cup of coffee. I mean, a lot of it comes from the placebo effect, which is why sometimes I will just microwave a cup of water and pretend like it's coffee to get me through some tough mornings. But still, there's something comforting that helps me stay calm and focused when I'm holding that warm cup of coffee. And that's a comfort, that's a mental effect that doesn't always happen with a cold, refreshing energy drink. And there you have it. Those are my 5 personal reasons for why I sometimes choose coffee over energy drinks. Real quick, as part of my promotion for Caffeine Awareness Month, did you know that March was Caffeine Awareness Month? It is. So, in part of my promotion for Caffeine Awareness Month, I'd like to give you 10% off your first bag of Fire Department coffee. If you go to firedepartmentcoffee.com, department is spelled DEPT, it is not the full word. You can use the promo code FDCoffee10 for 10% off a bag of coffee from their website. I highly recommend the Donut Shop coffee. Again, I've been drinking that a lot lately. I'm usually not a coffee drinker, but this blend is really nice. It's not too strong. I can add just a little bit of creamer, just a little bit of sugar, like sugar-free syrup, and it's delicious for those cold winter snowy days here in Wisconsin. And I think I mentioned this on a previous podcast, but I love the work that Fire Department Coffee is doing. We have similar goals. They and I both strive to give first responders energy. Pretty simple, right? So I love the work they're doing. 10% of all proceeds go to organizations that support firefighters and other first responders that are injured on the job mentally, physically, or those facing serious illnesses. And they're owned and operated by a firefighter, a former Navy vet. It's a great organization and it's a great bag of coffee. So I highly recommend you check them out. Again, you can go to firedepartmentcoffee.com, FIREDEPTCOFFEE.com, and use this code FDCoffee10 for 10% off your first bag. That's part of my Caffeine Awareness Month special. I hope you check them out. I hope you enjoyed this podcast, and that's enough for today. Thanks again. Take care.